Hello everybody. Welcome. I am we are a little late. I'm sorry. We were in the back rooms blabbing, and I was hearing about Neff's copious adventures. It was really awesome. But also it was my fault. I was late as well. But we are here now. Hello. Thank you for being here. Raycroft. Everybody's coming from Bancroft's. Thank you. Welcome everybody coming from Bancroft channel. Reading GTA 5 edition, yeah, with my little electric scooter in Taiwan. I'm glad people seem to enjoy that video. I want to do a new intro, but I don't know what else to use. Well, I'm going to Taiwan again soon. I'll take like a new scooter video, and it'll be fun. What's up? Hi, my beautiful dark twisted Fago tree. Alex VRB, Snarky, hello, and Frequency Girl, hi. And Crisis Comics, what's up, everyone? Melly Munoz, thank you guys for being here. Maromi, hello. All right, we are, and thank you for the links. Ooh, let me pin that. Alex VRB is on top of things. Here, this is what we are here to talk about today, and I will delay no longer. Let me bring in our guest for today. I'm here with Neffarious. Hello. You're muted. And Oden! Michael Oden, what's up, guys?
What up?
Hey, what's up?
Hey! So welcome, JUDEX team. I'm very excited to talk about this book today. And we have all met and spoken before, but it's been quite a while. I'm excited to catch up and hear about this project. The campaign
thank you for having us.
Great. Yeah, of course. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So let me pull this up real quick. So while I'm doing that, why don't you tell everyone, I guess, how this project started? If you want to start with like a quick intro for like Global Frequency Studios and Nine Realms for you, Michael, and how you guys came to collaborate, because this is the first collaboration between your studios, because both of you guys have independently made comics before, and this is you guys are coming together. And then how did the idea for JUDEX happen?
So it was Oden's idea for JUDEX. We came together because Oden and I started talking. Oden's a really fun guy, easy to talk to. He's witty, he's charming. He's just a good conversationalist. He's a good listener, And we started talking about Mavericks because, I don't know, I think he liked the book or something. And he called me up,
Something like that.
He was like, I read Mavericks. I got to talk to you about it. It's so cool. And I was like, oh, that's nice. Thank you. And he pitched me an idea for a supplemental because at the time I was kind of recruiting people, seeing if they were available because I wanted to expand the lore of the universe. And he had a really cool idea for a supplemental called Mavericks Support Service. And it's about a bunch of like mechanics and combat engineers, ground level guys driving around in a truck, and they repair and reload Mavs in the field. They're kind of like, combat engineers, techie grunts in the military. And I made him rewrite it 9 times. And that's how Oden decided he wanted me to come on and be his writing partner and editor on everything he does. And that's the story, and I'm sticking to it.
Nice. Everything in perpetuity.
It's like you glossed over some key points, but that's the gist of it.
You can catch the rest of them up if you want. It might not be necessary. I'm pretty good at summaries, and synopses.
It's really not necessary for much else. I will elaborate on specifically how JUDEX came to be. Just because that's part 2, and that wasn't covered in Neff's very, very broad stroke summary. But
that's fair. I had to give you something to talk about, right?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So JUDEX is a character that I found out about when I was doing one of my occasional research bouts on a character that I adore called the Shadow. And the Shadow is like he's probably one of the most prolific pulp characters. He served as the inspiration for characters like Batman, V for Vendetta, like you go down a list of Dark Avengers, and most of them draw some form of influence from the Shadow in some way, shape, or form. And so what I ended up finding out is I found out about this old silent film uh, called JUDEX that there is a lot of speculation might have been inspiration for Walter B. Gibson's The Shadow. There we go. I see you, Mark DeMuth, in the chat. The Shadow knows, indeed. But so I found out about this character, and the more that I found out about him, the more that I really enjoyed him. He was, when I first watched his like serials, there are these sets of silent films, and it is this very personal, grounded story that was like kind of felt like Count of Monte Cristo, Edmond Dantes style character trying to get revenge against a corrupt banker who ruined his family, right? And he uses these abilities of hypnotism and everything like that. There was a lot of really cool stuff there, but I wanted to kind of reinvent the character. And so I came up with this idea to kind of shift him and turn him into this cultural defender of Paris. And so initially I was working with this one artist, looking to work with this one artist who had told me that they didn't want me to do like a specific, like here's this page, here are the amount of panels that we have on the page. They didn't really want an editorial style script. They wanted me to write out prose of what I wanted to have happen on the page.
And the artist would decide how many pages to make out of the story.
Oh, actually,
so there were no page breaks either.
Yeah,
I kind of like working like that. I could see how writers might disagree, but
well, no, I mean, I had a blast writing this script.
It was a good story, 100%. It's a fantastic story, really well written. His prose are very pretty. If you ever get the chance to read a Mike Oden story, his ability to like use descriptive language and weave it in with dialogue is really something awesome. But it wasn't a comic book.
Yeah, well, that was really where Neff came in. Was just that like I remember I was having some issues with that artist, and like just trying to figure out where I was going to go from there. And so I told Neff, I was like, hey man, do you think you could listen to something? And I read him like, not only I read him the page description that I had written and then the dialogue, but before I could get to the dialogue, he just stops me and he just goes, please tell me that that's somewhere in the fucking book.
I'm legit. I've read a lot of stuff. I'm a lit major. Oden is very good at prose. He's a very good prose writer. I'm kind of annoyed. I don't like admitting when people are good at stuff, because it's threatening. I'm kidding, but he's a good writer. And the JUDEX story itself, you could tell that he was very passionate about it, and that something within it really inspired him because the prose was inspired. And that's why I was like, bruh, you got to make this a comic. We've got to break this down into panel structure, layouts. We got to, get an artist who's willing to work with sequential elements so that we can make the visual storytelling as compelling as the stuff that you wrote in its description. So it came to the point where what I did with Oden was we crafted a script out of that story. And then we broke the dialogue into panels, right? And we broke the actions to create flow on the pages. And then we polished the dialogue and beat the crap out of it with meat hammers to make it as good as possible, because we really wanted this thing to be tempered in fire. And I think it's probably some of the best sounding dialogue that maybe either one of us have put out. It's very
It's really good.
elaborate. It's very descriptive. It's a little bit highfalutin even, because Judex talks a lot like V for Vendetta. You know, like he's very elaborate in his patterns of speech. So it's a lot of fun to step into that character and really gussy up the language, really to put on airs and speak as though you're really a scholar of, you know, French literature and you're a cultural defender, and to take all of that on and play with that, and the way that that narrative voice develops is a lot of fun. And Oden created an incredible character. Like, he took a 1916 black and white silent film character who was basically like a Count of Monte Cristo style revenge driven story, and he transported that into World War II and took, you know, The Shadow and V for Vendetta and synthesized them. I was talking to Elliot Rodriguez and he was like, Zorro. I was like, oh yeah, the cultural element in Zorro is definitely there, you know, and like fighting the authoritarians. And it was really remarkable because I think he re-envisioned and reimagined this character, and in the new portrayal created something wholly original. I mean, the name Judex is judge, right? And for the most part, that is the only thing Oden kept. Everything else is fresh. His character design is incredible. Oden designed the look of the mask. Fabrizio refined it a little bit. We made some tweaks, made it an X instead of like a Y, but Oden created the Widow. He really leaned into the whole underground secret base, which he calls the hub of the mystic, the court of miracles. You know, Judex having these relics that give him pseudo-magical powers that are completely unexplained, but they happen because he has the relic. All of that, you know, that's Oden. That's his like bubbling imagination at work, and grabbing a hold of that and being able to like direct it and ride it like a team of horses has really been a lot of fun, because we came up with some really awesome stuff.
I believe you. And as someone who has worked with Oden, I will also confirm that he is good with scenes and dialogue, and he has a very good instinct for storytelling. So I completely believe that I'm excited to see this book because I know it's going to be good. And what really grabbed my attention was also the design, because as an artist, I'm coming in like, well, I love World War II stories, first of all. It's an era in history that's fascinating. I think it's fascinating to a lot of people, and this takes place in, I think, 1941. It was in a description during the Paris occupation. And that setting is so perfect for there's so many storytelling opportunities. And I saw you guys have a crossover, Terror in the Trenches too, where it was just like perfect. There's two campaigns right now, you guys and Vaughn's campaign, Terror in the Trenches. It's both about fighting Nazis in World War II and in Europe, and I'm so glad you guys are doing a crossover. I cannot wait to see that. Also, the art looks amazing.
It's going to be such a blast. And you know, speaking of the setting, it's not even just like it's January 1941, but I picked a very specific day too. I haven't really talked much about the setting of the book in that regard, but where we have this story take place is it's the anniversary of the execution of Louis XVI.
And let me jump in real quick. So when Oden claims that the widow, or makes the assertion that the widow is made from the guillotine, that's the guillotine that he's talking about. Because some people are like, what guillotine? No, he's talking about the guillotine that executed tyrants.
Guillotine. So, Oden, I know you're a giant history buff, and that is literally your specialty. Also, that's another point towards his story. He will not get anything wrong because he is a history nerd. He will go on for hours about anything historical, and he knows his shit. But is a French Revolution, that theme does that tie into the current storyline? Are you kind of doing
100%. The awesome. The spirit of Paris is very much the spirit of the revolution. The heart of the revolution is Paris. And so like the whole idea was, I really liked having this character. As I said, I wanted him to be this defender of Parisian culture, but like you have this setting where you have Nazi jackboots are not only stomping over France, they're not only occupying things, they're suppressing Parisian culture because Germany and France have a very long-standing feud. And so Germans are actively trying to suppress French culture as a way to dominate them. And so you have this guy who's tethered to the cultural heartbeat of his city, and the very essence of that heartbeat is the revolution. And
I love that.
So on the gun, you will notice the face of a woman, and on the trigger weld, right above the trigger weld, and that is Le Marion, which is the French incarnation of justice, who came about through the French Revolution. He is a servant of Le Marion.
It exists.
Yeah, like it's gorgeous.
Cool fucking design. You made it too. Yeah, I saw you had the map.
Yeah, and it's on in cameo form. It's on the handguard.
Is this is that do you have multiple ones of those, or are you just selling like that?
It's for sale on the campaign, Rini.
We have multiple. This was the first working piece, the first working replica. As you can see, like it comes apart for the internals. The pin comes out so you can remove the cylinder.
God, right, cool.
So it is going to be a fully functioning, or at least a fully actionable replica. But it is made of ABS and resin, and it is painted. Of course, it's not actually like gold and silver. But yeah, I wanted to do the fabrication process and get that down so that we can start offering other stuff, like doing the mask is also like, fabrication wise, we can print these, we can paint these. These are very doable. So if there was ever another campaign or something that we did, or hell, someone else wanted us to help them out making armor, props, cosplay swords, anything printed, we could do that at this level.
You became JUDEX. Oh my gosh, I would like that. Let's talk. I keep wanting 100%. More stuff for my campaign, but I'm like, I don't have time to design anything. I'm just like, I don't know, somebody please offer to make something. That's cool.
They crush it. Wow. It's funny, like while we were getting things set for the campaign, Neff would ask us like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And I was like, "We can do that.
We can do that." I'm like, yeah, that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I love that stuff. I mean, I like weapon reproductions. Like there's a bunch of YouTube channels that do like actual forge-made reproductions of swords and stuff in fantasy books and video games. And I love that kind of shit. But it's amazing that you can do this with 3D printing now. It's not just a little figurine. It's this like that mask is huge. Like, is there a limit to the size of the items that you can make?
Well, technically there is, because the Jupiter 6s that we have access to are only like 1.5 feet by, I think, 2 feet or something. But when you break it down here, I'm going to show you this real quick. But when you break things down in ZBrush to their component parts, if you are good at assembling, right, you can just do component pieces and then construct it so that it, becomes one object. So like how we did the JUDEX figure here, right? We could print these heads at human size if we wanted to. And we could cut the torso in half and fit it together kind of like a jigsaw with, one hook on one side and one insert area on the other. And, you can, as long as you have a way to break it down into something that's like 1.5 feet by 2 feet, you can then build out of that. So this is the figure. Oden's never seen it before. But this is the start of the figure. We're going to add articulation to the knee, I think. That's the one thing that I wanted to add. And we have articulation in the elbow that we're adding. But there you can see the coat already has the indentations there broken in for those components. But yeah, you also see this guy's missing the top of his head because it's easier to paint the mask when it's not the entire upper portion. And the hat is a little bit off, but we're correcting that in our second print phase. I'm actually going over to talk to the designer, the engineer and sculptor that I work with. I'm going to go over to his place over the weekend, and we're going to do some refining on the figure. But we'll have the figure ready for the Kickstarter in a month.
All right, that was awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. It's we'll talk. I am fascinated by the ability for us as indie creators to make replicas and items like this. I just think that's absolutely fantastic. Oh my gosh. Oh,
And they're specialty items, right? They're specialty items that you're not going to get in a comic book shop. You might get them at somebody's table at a comic book convention, but because they're specialty items, you can only really offer them through something like an active campaign, either on your website or on like Fund My Comic or Indiegogo or wherever, because that's direct to the customer, not through a retailer. You can't really offer these through a retailer.
Right, that exactly. Well, that is really cool. I kind of jumped ahead to the mask and everything, but here's some interiors as well, which are beautiful.
Yeah, Fabrizio Ugolini has just done a tremendous job in capturing the essence of not only like the black and white film, which is kind of which is kind of a nice little homage to his origin. But I really do think that the black and white really lends itself to the morality tale that JUDEX is. And one of the things that this character is he's a judge. And so the thing that he is judging his people's action or inaction in the face of occupation. Yes, the Nazis are guilty of what they're guilty of, but what are the people of Paris guilty of? Have they done enough to resist? Or, the focus of this issue is you will see a Vichy police officer, a Frenchman who's aligned with the Nazis. He's working with the Germans. Why is he working with the Germans? Is he guilty of the same sin, or is there a chance for reprisal? And that's what JUDEX is there to judge. He's there to listen to the evidence and render a verdict. He is there to listen to his city and render verdict upon it. And in the hopes of finding people that he can stoke the flames of revolution once more, so that his city doesn't die a whimpering death. It deserves better.
Beautiful. That is beautifully said. And here is some more interior art. Look at that.
I wanted to like talk about how expressive the artwork can be. And this is a page that's not on the campaign. Nobody's ever seen it before. This is an exclusive for Rini. As you can see in this is the Vichy policeman, Javert, and you can see his cheeks are stained with his tears. This is JUDEX's cloak unfurling around him, and JUDEX is preparing here to pass his judgment on him, right? So, like, the artwork is incredibly expressive. I love the foreshortening on the gun here. I love how expressive the faces are, and I love how he manages to make JUDEX expressive, and JUDEX has no face. It's a mask. And yet he manages to use the eyes. He uses the eyes and the tilt of the head and the way that, the way that he positions JUDEX within panels, right? His staging. All of that communicates the personality that JUDEX has. Meanwhile, everyone else gets to have like expressive emotions on their faces. But JUDEX, he has to use his eyes mostly and his posture.
Yeah, it's a skill to be able to communicate a character who is communicating emotion with a masked character. I love the art style. Like it does look like old film, but it also has this. I think what does it is it's not just this graphite-ish drawing, and I can't tell if it's digital or traditional. It actually looks like it's digital, isn't it?
It's digital. You can see the screen tones. You can see the screen
yeah.
tones here. But that
Yeah.
also lends its feeling to a little bit more pixelated, almost celluloid cell shading, and that like personality that Fabrizio's bringing to the artwork.
Yeah, and the graphite shading, I think, is what does it, because you can draw in a pencil sketchy style, but the realistic faces and on top of the sort of hazy graphite shading, that makes it look like old film, and I'm just loving that so much. That really puts you in the era.
Yeah,
It is
and
digital, yeah. Look at that. And the face. Oh my gosh. So does Judix actually does he have powers?
so
He's got
he
magical
has
objects.
yeah, like he has
Okay.
relics that allow him to do things. Like
Oh,
his
I
cloak
like that.
is a cape of midnight, and it allows him to traverse the shadows of Paris.
And
Like
become
like
temporarily insubstantial at times.
Oh,
yeah,
I like
So you can
that. I
and
see
like
when
that a lot.
the Nazis blast him with their guns at the bottom of that page. We had to take a page off the campaign, or at least we tried to take a page down off the campaign to see if that was what was keeping us shadow banned. Unfortunately, we didn't not get shadow banned, so we should just put that page back up. But it's when he kills all of the soldiers. I'm gonna bring that page up for you. But the thing is, like, they unload on him, and he just kind of like becomes insubstantial, fades into the shadows, and they're like, "Where'd he go?" And then he comes back out of the shadows, and he smokes all of them. It's really cool. I'm gonna grab it
Oh,
right now.
that's cool.
yeah.
I like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's a great page, and then there was the like I think at the end of that page you get this beautiful shot looking down into a puddle of blood, seeing the reflection of Judex's mask in it. It's really powerful.
It was a really cool panel that was designed so that when you talk to your artist, you tell them that you want panels.
I understand that this was
So
not,
this you see on the campaign. This you see on the campaign, right? At the bottom, the last. So then there's this where he just kind of like uses his powers to fade back into the background, and they're all like, "Where did he go?" I think I have this page lettered.
Just like that. Bad.
I think the line is "Was ist dis?" and "Where did he go?" And then of course
yeah.
you can see him like
Da.
you use his like cloak to sort of like change positions, right? And then there's this
Are you
page, which
using?
is
Are you actually using German for when they're speaking
yes.
German and English?
So-
Yes,
some of
I
the
love
time,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes, language.
Yes.
I love that.
I have a huge little it's huge little. I have a huge pet peeve when people are using languages and they have to just write it in a colloquial language differently. I'm like, use the regular language, because you can use words that are obviously obvious even if you don't speak the language. Like I'm doing a script with Chimera, and we have a Russian dude, so I have certain words interjected with Russian. It doesn't matter what that word is. Your mind is going to fill in that blank because it's usually an adjective, or it's an obvious verb, or a noun. So you can just kind of like blend it together. And if we had to, we'd use the little asterisk and say translated from German, but most often than not, you use like one small line where people go, "Oh, okay, I know what that means," or I can interpret what's there on the page. This is
and
him
German.
just destroying these Germans, and that's the panel Oden loves so much.
Yes,
agree with
and
that.
look at those that face in panel 2 is
You see the tear
fantastic.
coming out of his eye too. Like it's
I
just he's
know.
looking up. He's looking up at
Oh.
Judgment, and Judgment is staring back at him, and he is seeing his sins. And so there's a tear of like begging for forgiveness and absolution in his soul as the life fades from his eyes.
I love it. I love it. Look how
I love
expressive-
Javert being in silhouette in this panel right here. I hate Google Drive, but I love Javert being silhouetted right here. Right
Okay.
here.
Yeah,
I love that. I love how we have the dark silhouettes of Judex and the Nazi in the foreground, and then he does like a whiteout silhouette of Javert. There's something very satisfying about that for me.
It is satisfying. Everyone in chat is shouting random German.
Okay. That's good. It's good. You like
Far
German.
from, no, I don't think that's actually
Farfignugan.
what's I know like 5 German words. All I know is German's actually not that different from English. Really, if you
No,
read
it's
German,
really
you kind
not.
of can you kind of can get the gist of it because it's very similar. In the roots are similar languages, but German's just so funny. I think my favorite word is Krankenwagen or something. The word for ambulance is just like broken person wagon. I fucking love German compound words.
It is cool because Germans just make new words by tacking words together to express concepts. So you can have like a really long word that means one very specific thing, and I like that about that language.
Yes, I love it. It's such an angry and unique language. It's like, really, you got with the history that happened, you just happen to have a language that sounded super angry. Anyway, I love modern Germany. Modern Germany is awesome. Not
so as far as Judex's as far as his powers, because I know like I kind of derailed that question. He's got his mask, which allows him to sort of mesmerize his foes because there's a mesmerism element or a hypnosis element present in the 1916 film and then the additional remake in the 60s. So Oden wanted to keep that. So he has that hypnotic power, like when he moves the coin with his hand and hypnotizes the soldiers. It's on this page. If I can tab back over here. Come on, one more page, guys.
Well, just show us the whole book. Just give it all.
I mean, I would honestly like. I'm proud enough of this book to just be like, sure, here's the book. So you see, he he uses his coin trick, and they look completely spellbound here, looking at the coin in his hand.
You should show off the special page that we got today.
I don't know about that. I think we have to keep something in reserve, right? I can show tidbits here and there, but the first 11, 12 pages they're pretty easy to show because it's a build up and you don't get the Act 2 climax or the Act 3 catharsis. And we're not showing either of those. We're just showing the build up of Act 1. So he's got this mask that hypnotizes people. He's got the gun. The gun has unlimited bullets, but it won't kill someone that's not guilty. It only has as many bullets as he needs to render verdict upon the wicked, because it's a peacemaker, right? And peacemakers have 6 shots, and they don't have a cylinder that comes out sideways. They have a side loading gate, so you have to put the bullets in one at a time. It would suck to be using this as a weapon in a gunfight against people with automatic rifles, right? So you have to give him a little bit of a leg up, so you give him unlimited ammo. He's also got a couple of other different things, and if we ever want to give him powers that he doesn't have, we can just have him use a relic that's in his warehouse of goodies. Like I was joking with Edwin today, like we want to make him have like the shield of unyielding faith so he has invulnerability. Let's give him Charlemagne's breastplate or something. You know what I mean? It's like we can just reach out there and grab some cultural bullshit. I'll turn to Oden and be like, hey, I need a representation for a something or other. What you got in history, boy? Pull that out of your bag.
I told somebody on a stream recently because they were asking if we had any Charlemagne relics, and I was like, ooh,
yeah, right? Perfect. So, like, powers like a second gun. No, he only needs that gun. It would cheapen it, and honestly, I think he'd rock, if he rocked 2 guns, he'd be a little too much like the Shadow. And like V has 2 knives, so we wanted to make like one very iconic weapon, and I think that the Widow satisfies that. But he also, like, later in the book, I have to back out of this particular folder and show you the other one to show you where's the TIFFs, high-res TIFFs.
I can go back here.
Looking at these pages, right? So, he has these other things in his Court of Miracles. This is the Apocalypse Tapestry, and it's this enormous. It's a real relic, and it's enormous, and it shows weird scenes of like biblical destruction and like interprets the end of the world. So when I found that, I was like, let's have him use this to kind of like interpret the signs and portents of what is to come. So it's like a weird bit of foresight where he knows where he needs to go, right? And then there's the chessboard and the Cassini map. And the Cassini map is this old ass map from early France. I think it's like 16th century, like 1500s, maybe even earlier, which is like the first proper.
Louis XIV.
And it's the first case. It was 1600s then, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then it was. It's like the first accurate topographical map of Paris. And as you can see, he's had to draw in some of the landmarks because they don't exist on this map. But that also allows him to like interpret where he needs to go and use his cloak to get there. So like he interprets a sign and sees, oh no, something is going to happen. Let me find out where I need to get. It's his bat cave, right? We're using the relics from France in his bat cave. So that's what we're showing off here. We're showing off that Judex has got a bat cave and he's gonna like, plan his next mission using these relics rather than the bat computer because he doesn't have a bat computer.
I love it. Yeah. It's just I am not joking when I am genuinely fascinated by this because as a tabletop gaming nerd, I'm just looking at this and I'm like, all these items. He is an artificer. That's his class. Yeah, that's what he is in World War II Germany, and it all ties into the history, and it's cool how I'm sure you thought about this, that his him using these artifacts tie into the fact that he's standing for history. He's defending the history of Paris and the history of his native land. It's sort of, I think that's what you're going for, right?
That's something I wanted to evoke right away. And one of the
was specifically Oden's plan. Yeah.
Like in like the third or fourth page, I think it's even up on the campaign. You get to see the Court of Miracles, and like the first shot you see of Judex in the book, it's this. Well, I guess it's only the second. It's this beautiful upward shot of him holding the.
So he's got the globe, right? He's got the crystal ball right there.
But, so right up there, that's the chandelier from the Parisian Opera House that the Phantom cut down in. The climax of Phantom of the Opera.
Oh,
that's that.
Cool.
And then check out these.
In this, you've got the Sword of D'Artagnan in the first box there. In the second box, you have the letters of Cyrano de Bergerac. In the third box, you have the Iron Mask. In the fourth box, you get another Phantom reference with the music box.
Oden loves Phantom and Les Miserables. Those are his I can tell. He loves French stuff.
I love French culture. I love like Alexandre Dumas, Victor Hugo, Albert Camus, and
all of the French.
There's another one.
The French nerds.
I don't know about French history, but I would love to learn more.
So
really cool.
See this coin right here. This ties into that French culture. Remember we were talking about the Revolution and like Sansculotte and the beheading of Louis and all of that. This is Lemarion. Why don't you tell people about Lemarion? I'll go get the coin. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So as I had said earlier, we talked a little bit about it because she's a big part on the Widow design as well. But Lemarion is the French embodiment of justice that was effectively the manifestation and spirit of the French Revolution and its core tenets of liberté, égalité, fraternité. So I really wanted him to kind of be this servant of Lemarion. And one of the things that I needed especially with this building a resistance is, the Shadow, when he would go out and save somebody, he would give them a crimson ring to bring them into the fold. And so Judex gives out these coins, these modified francs of Lemarion that are special. They aren't a standard franc. it's got a special back, and so this is how his agents identify one another.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. Wait, so is there a network of Judexes?
Well, there's a network of his revolutionaries.
Neff, you're muted.
He is Judex. Neff, you're muted, buddy. And
yeah, of course I am.
So the main pretty much the main the first tier the main tier of the book, the $20 one, you get the book and that coin.
And the Rich Ayala print.
And the Rich Ayala print. And stretch goal items, which we've unlocked quite a bit of at this point.
All right, let's see. Oh, I love the tier names as well. The El Guapo.
Yep. That's for Eric, because Eric's always saying he doesn't want any of the tchotchkes. He just wants the book at a good price, and he doesn't want to have to pay crazy prices for shipping. So it's $10. You get the book with free shipping and none of the stuff. So it's like we tried to make it as accessible as possible. Shipping these days, between $5 and $10. Most people charge $10 for the shipping, $25 for the book. Our book is only 28 to 30 pages, so I didn't really want to charge $15, which is like the 50 cents a page standard. So we got the printing costs down, so we can afford to print the book and then add the shipping, which is around $5, and do that for $10 without losing money. Our margins are thin. We make like about $1.20 on the El Guapo tier.
Yeah. It's knowing printing costs is, oh my gosh. Yeah, a lot goes into it's not just printing the book, but the fulfillment and then everything stacked on top of that. But it's great that you can get a book of this size and it's 25 to 30 pages. That for $10, I think that's pretty good for an independent crowdfunding book.
Yeah, the trick is going down below medium mail, since we can do it at £1, since the book isn't over a pound, even with the mailer. You can get a pretty good deal if you talk to your postmaster about, doing bulk stuff below £1, but it can't have anything but a periodical in it. So no cards, no stickers, no anything, which is why the Guapo tier works, because we're not doing any of the stretch goals. It's just a magazine in a mailer. And so you can do shipping. You can get shipping low.
Oh, I'm going to go talk to my postmaster then. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure it helps that it's also grayscale. So, I mean, it fits the story as well. It's not like you guys are definitely not cutting corners here, but it fits the story. And the fact that you can print it in grayscale also helps that, because color adds a lot to the printing cost.
Well, the one thing I will say is that the variant cover finishes raised the print cost. Originally, I got this down to around $1. And then we added the variant cover finishes, and the printer was like, okay, unit price is this now. And I'm like, great. Of course, I had to make it more difficult, right? I had to raise the price by doing variant, cover finishes. So real quick, the digital comes with the digital download code for the book through Global Comics, but it also comes with 3 months of paid membership for free. That's why the digital tier is limited. There are only 50 of these codes that we send you when we're fulfilling the book. You use this code, you enter it in on Global Comics, you get 3 months free to read everything behind their paywall. So you're getting like 27,000 comics, basically, or access to those. You get 3 free months, and you get to keep our comic because it downloads to your hard drive, to your device, or whatever, through the website now.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, that's a very, very good deal. Real quick, I don't want to miss this super chat. Alex BRB for 2. Backer number 1. Neff promised me a free revolver. Just kidding. Except you should totally get a free revolver. Right?
I can do that. It'll be the size of my thumb. We can do a free revolver. We're just gonna have to make it really small.
Oh, it's a mini one. I don't want a mini little itty bitty revolver. That'll be so cute.
Reedy, you got to get us to 10 grand, because I have another stretch goal I want to unleash on the world, and this one's really special at 10. So you have to help us get there, because I think it's specifically going to tickle you, of all people.
What? Okay, let's look at the stretch goals then. Let's scroll.
Well, I
down.
mean, they're just stretch goals. We've got the bookmark, which is a die cut, very thick bookmark, because I wanted it to be able to be put in a book, but also stick out of the book, because the cape goes on one side and the body goes on the other to like grab the page, kind of like a paper clip. So it had to be durable enough and wouldn't just like shred or fall apart as a bookmark. So the bookmark is a thing. Then we have the glow in the dark skunk artwork print, and that's going to be up as physical art, original art on the campaign, I think tomorrow. Then we have Shay's 3 chibi stickers. Those are, it's Judex Javert, who is the Vichy policeman, and the antagonist that we introduce at the end of the book. And then there are 2 trading cards, one of the antagonist, Ritter von Wotan, who is named after Oden, of course, and one of Judex. But the $10,000 goal, or the $10,000 stretch card, the $10,000 stretch goal, it's a map, Rini. You love maps.
Make a replica of what is it, the Cassini map? This one?
Yep.
Oh, cool! Let's get there! Everybody back in right now!
How would you say to black light laid in ink showing secret passages through Paris? I like doing cool stuff, right? Right? Yeah. Get us there!
I want this. That's cool. How do you do black light inlaid ink? What? How?
Yeah.
Tell me
It's
how.
just black. It's just black light ink.
Wait, is this going to be a canvas or cloth map? Because that's what I'm a fan of.
Canvas or cloth. All right, I'll look into that. I don't know if we can print blacklight ink finishes on canvas or cloth. I'd have to talk to a different manufacturer than who we're talking to now to do the map, because they do paper products, and that's why all of the finishes are available through them. But I could look into it, and I'm sure we'd be able to figure it out. I mean, it's one little obstacle, right? Speaking of the finishes, the 2 covers on this campaign, we decided not to go super cover heavy, but I wanted to give 2 really cool covers. We have one Erwin or Rosa cover, which is a holofoil virgin, and it's the only thing that's in color on the campaign. So it's a color holofoil variant. And then we have a black and white variant, which glows in the dark, and that's by Russ Leach. And the cool thing about that, I'm nerding out about it because that's my favorite thing, is like cover finishes and shit. It is a matte cover, but the Eiffel Tower it's that one right there, cover B. But the Eiffel Tower is spot gloss. It's real shiny textured spot gloss. And then that's the holofoil one right there. And variant B has the glow in the dark Judex. So all of the white on the second cover is glow in the dark.
Down, Rainy.
Other way. Well, that one's also glow in the dark. That's the print. That's the cover we're talking about. So the Eiffel Tower is spot gloss, so it shines, right? It's shiny, it's reflective. And then the white in Judex is glow in the dark. So in the dark, the spot gloss actually reflects some of that shine, and the Eiffel Tower has this really weird ethereal glow to it. It's very cool. And then, of course, the regular black background is matte. And I'm a nerd when it comes to like book prestige cover finishes or whatever. I love them.
Oh, that's cool. You'd be spot gloss triggered. Yeah, I'm mildly triggered by spot gloss because I had a horrible time doing UV for my last book. But I too love cover finishes that are absolutely badass, and I'm tempted. I said I would never do spot gloss again, but damn, this stuff is cool. And
I'm playing with glow in the dark now.
Oh my god!
I'm playing with the glow in the dark.
The temptation. It's hard to resist. No, that's
Reedy, let's do foil. Let's do foil next. Let's play with foil, because that's another one that I want to play with. I know Adam Lawson and Vaughn both love their foil. So when we talk about like, you know, the cover that Vaughn did on Terror, right? Like he has a very metallic cover for the Terror logo on Terror, and the new one that Adam just released, the Kill Journal, has foil leaf in the trade dress, I think, on like the front cover. So I want to play with foil next. I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I would love to as well. I think foil would
So
be
rad.
great, but it's with the logo that I did for Phoenix. Sorry, I'm nerding about, but like now I'm thinking about what I could do for my book. But it's a little hard when I have a logo that's just really plain. And spot gloss does look good. It's just I was like traumatized because there were so many things that went wrong last time we did spot gloss. But
what if you did like silver leaf? Very tasteful, sort of like gunmetal colored speckly silver leaf for Fiendish, making it like it doesn't have to reflect light. It can actually look like metal. You know what I mean? So like doing like a leaf treatment over it.
You're
I don't know, man. It might be fun. It might be fun.
Godzilla wants irradiated ink. Well, if that's what the customers overwhelmingly request. No, we're not going to do that. All right. That's enough of that. I will talk about this later. But I am tempted. This might happen, everybody, and you can blame it on Neff when I suffer when I try to do spot gloss for my next book. Gunfoil. Make snowflakes on the cover. Yeah, I love this kind of stuff, and I think that you're going for something that again really fits the tone of your book as well. Like I don't want to see this in full color. I don't want to see this in a standard print, or like I like this just the way it is, and I love that you're doing special effects like with the tower, the Eiffel Tower being in spot gloss and how it reflects the glow in the dark. That kind of ties into the story too. That is that's cool. I love design stuff like this. Well done.
Thank you. And it's prestige again. Like this is the kind of stuff that you can do when you go direct to the consumer. Retailers aren't going to want to have to sell this. They're not going to want to sell a comic book cover at this level, I don't think, because we're not big enough that variant covers matter. You know, it's not like X-Men #1 super special variant. But going direct to the consumer, yeah, it's a limited run, so people are going to find that more valuable, and maybe years from now it'll be worth something. But you can't go to a retailer and be like, check out my super cool spot gloss glow in the dark cover, and the cover price is $15. You know, like they won't do that.
Yeah. That's kind of it's similar to what Adam Lawson was and Vaughn was doing with Psycho Killers, where
it's the limited run of 500
prestige limited run items that have something special to them and they're not mass produced, but you make a small limited run of something that it's a limited story. I don't know if this is a limited story, but it sounds like you can definitely continue it. But the point is, it's a high collective. It has high. Wait, how do you say it? High collectability value. Is that a word? Does that make sense? And
it makes sense.
I think that's how you make an indie product really stand out. And I think this will be worth having years down the line because it's so unique.
Which is why the fraternity tier, I think, is the best value. And Alex VRB will tell you. It's because individually, both of these books, the Virgin Holofoil variant and the Rust Leach cover, will retail at conventions at like $15. And the main cover, I think we're going to do something like $7-ish. Because it's just like the comic. But then you get Vaughn's script, which I think is a 12-page... smaller sized color comic, and then you get a metal print of the cover of that ash can too, plus all the stretch goals and the stuff that comes on the Liberté tier. So you're getting a lot of value in that Fraternité tier because of those two very special cover versions. Not just a variant cover, it's the finishes and those other elements, I think, that enhance the value and the presentation.
Yeah, I agree. So this the Terror in the Trenches crossover it's going to be like ashcan size? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, Vaughn's book is going to be smaller than a standard size comic. I don't know if it's going to be the exact dimensions of an ash can, which is about that big, you know, because that's a little small. But we were talking to the printer regarding what kinds of sizing we can do. We wanted to make it smaller than the regular book because it's only 12 pages. And I feel like doing a regular saddle-stitched book that's 12 pages, the staples feel like they're too heavy, you know what I mean? Like a regular comic book at the thin paper that's like 24 pages, the staples still feel like they have some sort of substantial bite inside the book. So I would want to make the ash can smaller. You can use thinner binding staples, and you know, I think it suits it better as that kind of format as only 12 pages.
Yeah, that does make sense. I can see that. This looks amazing too. Monica's art is so good. I love it so much.
I love Monica's art too. Honestly, I love Monica's art, but I love Tiago's colors. And I say it every time I get to talk about Tiago. I saw Terror in the Trenches, and on the campaign page, there is a page with his big billowing terror gas. And I sat down and I looked at all of the terror gas, at the hues in that terror gas. And there are like 7 greens. I identified 7 different greens. So I was like, damn, Tiago goes ham on the textures for this billowy gas. I gotta have Tiago on a book. And it's a lot of fun working with him. Like his colors are something else.
Yeah, I agree. These are great. The art brings a great style, and the colors are just. I like this kind of color where it's flat, but it's not completely. It's like a lot of gradient, and it's really subtle because that's the kind of colors that I like to get over my art, and it fits a certain kinds of inking style. But I think it fits Monica's art really well, and especially for Terror in the Trenches and this, for some reason, like the muted colors work really well. So it looks a little retro, but also it still keeps that cartoony look. It makes Monica's kind of cartoony art pop, if that makes sense.
Exactly. I was just going to say it's Monica's cartoony style that picks up that color. And even though it's like more muted tones, there's something about it conferring a vibrance to the characters and the art itself. I don't know. It feels bouncy, if that makes any sense.
All right. That's awesome. Yeah. And here's the JUDEX cosplay mask. Is it limited how many of these you're selling?
I can print as many of those as I want.
All right.
It's just a matter of doing the airbrush treatment. Those are actually easier to do than the pistol. The pistol has a lot of internal components and working parts. As you saw, the replica right now doesn't even have the internals in it because I had to have them all redone with a stiffer ABS. Or actually, I should say like a stronger ABS that's still flexible so that all of the internal components actually work and they don't wear out and, you know, fall apart. And that there's a lot more painting that goes into that too. So there's a lot more components, a lot more painting. There's also assembly. So the pistol's a lot harder to do than the mask, which is just, you know, take it out of the Jupiter 6, sand it down, clean it up, airbrush it, paint up the chains and the little details, and then we're good to go.
Yeah, I could see this with a lot of moving parts in the pistol. It probably definitely takes longer. Down goes Solo for 20. Thank you so much for the super chat. Sure, you're busy, but can I ask a tiny/huge favor? Well, of course. My artist is nearly finished with some pages. I want to turn him loose on more. Any chance you can finish that design sheet kind of soonish? It's crazy important, at least to me. Yes, absolutely. I have been working on it. I just want to ink it, so I'll finish inking it in like the next couple of days, and I will have it for you. I know you've been waiting, and I'm sorry for that, but it is almost done. And I hope you like. You've already seen it. I've shown you like the rough of it, but hopefully you enjoyed that. Down Go Solo. Travis has a book called Wrecked that's going to be coming out soon. It's another fantasy book. It looks amazing. You guys should keep your eyes out for that.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'd love to take a look at that.
Well, all right. I guess
new fantasy.
Yes, I love my fantasy. You know I do. Let's take a look at the tiers then. You guys don't have a trailer for this, do you?
We have one coming, but not right now. No, the one that's coming. So I'm gonna spoil it. We had to get our JUDEX rigging redone because his arms and hands weren't working. So I wanted to do sort of like a digital avatar style JUDEX, so we could have JUDEX show up and be JUDEX. And I wanted to do a trailer with the digital avatar or VTuber style JUDEX. So that got delayed because the arms and hands were broken in the rigging, and we had to have that completely redone.
Well, all right. I look forward to seeing that trailer.
It'll be interesting. Yeah,
It's gonna be a good time.
it might suck. I don't know. It might it's amusing to me.
No, it won't suck. It'll be awesome. I have faith. It's gonna. Oh, I can't wait. Are you gonna like? I mean, if it's gonna be animated a little bit, that'll be perfect. So many people are coming out with animated trailers, and I want to do one in that style. I gotta talk to. Yeah, I'll talk to someone. I'll figure it out. But that's what I want for Phoenix 3. Everybody's doing such awesome stuff. It's overwhelming. Oh my gosh. Okay.
There's a lot of creativity in this space. Like, seriously, it's huge.
It is. So much creativity. You guys are stop it. Actually, don't. No, I love it. Okay. So for the tiers, the feature tier is the fraternité tier. What do people get back this?
So you get the everything on the Liberté and Égalité tiers, as well as the crossover JUDEX Black Terror story and a metal print of the cover of the JUDEX Black Terror story, which is featured on the campaign. And so that then includes the Liberté tier, which is the book plus the coin plus the Rich Ayala print, and the Égalité tier, which is the Liberté tier plus one of the variant covers. Except on the Fraternité tier, you get both of those variant covers. So it's pretty much all of the printed material plus some extras, i.e. the coin, the glow-in-the-dark Rich print, the metal print of Monica's cover.
I have a tangential question. I keep on getting distracted, but is this pattern in the background, because I know you guys are history nerds and you think of everything, does this harken back to anything?
Honestly,
it harkens back to JUDEX's cape.
Oh, it's his cape. Okay, you should have been like, this is like the pattern on like the
I wish. No, it feels like it just feels like a very French style pattern, and it's the interior of JUDEX's cape, and it was just kind of perfect.
Yeah, Fabrizio kind of came up with that one on his own, but then of course, since it was like a textured pattern, it's going to be on the interior of the cape. That's all the way at the bottom. That's part of the full JUDEX, and I decided to use it as the background graphic asset for the campaign page. I thought it just suited the page well.
All right. Well, good enough for me. It's his cape. Jonathan Justice for $10. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Jonathan is an animator, so I know that. I always hated rigging. It never works right, and it's a pain to fix. Yes, from all the. So I did minor in animation, and I took like a couple of 3D classes and some rigging as well, and I do a little After Effects. I'm not very badly, but it is a pain. There's a reason I decided I'm just going to draw stuff now. Rigging is the second reason I decided to not be an artist. The first reason was that I'm really bad at art. Oh boy. Well, rigging and doing 3D, that's like, doing 3D art is almost like a different part of your brain, you know? It's like when I'm drawing, and if I like back when I was doing 3D modeling, it's like you have to switch your brain and switch modes and stuff. But then animating is like a different part of your brain, and with rigging, it's really technical. I feel like it's almost like you're programming. It's not hardly even art anymore, but it is really challenging. I thought you did animation, but maybe but
That's
in gaming, right?
John Justice?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, he's an old friend of mine. But yeah, that's cool. Thank you for the super chat. I agree, reading his name. JUDEX has a special croissant pocket in the cape.
We were actually considering doing like a baked goods style where he has like boomerangs that are croissants and like a long ass baguette that he two hands and fights with, and yeah.
I find it really the story of how the croissant came to France is something that amuses me, because it's become this staple French pastry but it was actually brought over from Austria by Marie Antoinette, and the French hated her for it. They despised that this Austrian queen was forcing them to make this Austrian pastry, that the Parisian pastries and the French pastries weren't good enough for her, and they despised her for it. And now it's like it's like a staple of French patisserie is like doing a good croissant. So it's really funny.
All right. There's so many jokes I can think of. Like, does he have a magic artifice item that generates baguettes? And does he have like a vest pocket where you can just pull baguettes up? So many jokes. I'm sorry if anybody in chat is French. I'm the worst.
Jay Ryan was actually saying like wine and cheese edition, and I was like Judex : Brie and Bordeaux. Like, there's a lot of shit to play with. France is a lot of fun.
Yeah, he doesn't. You need a magic tablecloth where he never has to buy food, because the tablecloth you can just unfold it and it'll be be like the most
portable picnic. Ever. Yeah.
Picnic. This is what happens when you play a lot of Pathfinder. That's where my mind goes. Magic item. If you need anything statted out, come to me. I'll help you. So, anyways, does he have an enchanted cheese wheel? This is just not going to stop. We got to roll with this. You have to do this now.
Roll like the cheese wheel. Yeah, we're going to have to.
Yes. I endorse this. Hetzel, what's up? Hello. Snarky makes most of the French jokes. I endorse it. I enjoy my
It's all
French
good.
jokes. Yes, it's all friendly. And the digital copy, the digital download, that's for 10. The El Guapo, also for 10. Fantastic. We went through that.
The Liberté is like your basic crowdfunding tier. That's the book and your two little goodies, the coin and the glow-in-the-dark print by Rich I think it's an A5 sized print. So that's your $20 tier. It's the 28-page, 30-page book, plus the coin, plus the print. And then that's the Liberté. Then the Égalité is that and one of the variants. And then the Fraternité is both of those with the other variant and then Vaughn's stuff and the print.
All right.
So it just they build on each other.
Cool. And then the Égalité, we'll do this as well. These two specialty covers and the book, and then the coin and the print. Fantastic.
Yep.
The Face of Justice.
One cool thing about both the Face of Justice and the hand painted revolver, the Hand of Justice, those both come with an add-on where you can upgrade the Liberté tier that comes with it to the Fraternité tier at half price. So if you wanted to pay like the $15, instead of getting just the book and the coin and the print, you could get everything that's on the featured tier in addition to your mask and free shipping.
Awesome. All right. And 300, I think that is affordable for a 3D print of that size. That thing is huge.
Yeah.
And the Hand of Justice for 500. And it comes framed and all nice like that?
We have the box. It actually has if you look on the Widow on the campaign, if you were able to zoom in, there's a little mounting bracket inside that. So you can mount it on your wall if you want, or you can just sort of prop it up on your desk.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Cool.
And it holds the gun up inside the box.
All right. Oh, that's fancy. I would love that on my wall. That makes me happy. The full JUDEX right here.
Yep.
What's in that?
That's everything. Plus a hand tailored cape with that embroidered fabric on the inside, so like the pattern that you see in the background, that's on the inside of the cape. And it is hand tailored by Frequency Girl. She went and found a cape pattern, and we played around with it, and she ordered fabric that has the JUDEX cape pattern, so you get that. And we also have the hat, because I was able to find a place that makes 3XL hats so that it fits on your head and with enough room for the mask, because that was the hard part, measuring the additional material that the mask has when it's over your head with the back strap on your face and then the hat going on top of it. So I'm going to include the hat now because I found it. I didn't put it on originally because I didn't want to promise something I couldn't find. But now all you need is a pinstripe suit and you're JUDEX.
All right. I like that. It's that's not a hard cosplay either. You can get the full set. You can get the mask and you get the cape, and then everybody has a suit.
The gun, the gun and the hat, and then just throw on a pinstripe suit and you're JUDEX. You're ready to go. Cosplay it up at your favorite convention.
Yeah. So everybody, this is that. I'm sure that has convinced all of you. This is the tier that you all must back right now. I want this campaign to be at 10K before the end of the night. $1,000. You can afford that. Everybody, get this right here.
There's only one more of those left, though.
Oh, right. It's only 3 because the cape is handmade, right?
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to have Frequency Girl making unlimited capes, and I also had to limit the pistol because. Actually, I didn't limit the pistol. I just priced the pistol at $500 because it's a pain in the ass to make.
Right. And then you'll get 20 orders and you'll realize maybe I should take this down now.
Right.
But it'll be a good problem to have. All right. These are fantastic. I gotta say, I like how balanced the tiers are because and this is something I've kind of been debating as well because it's so tempting to add extra items and you want to add everything, and I think all of us creators, we all have that temptation of, I want to add 3D toys and I want to add trading cards and bookmarks, and it's hard to not throw everything in. But I think I like how you have a nice balance of the book comes first. I think that's very clear, and then you have a couple of variants, and the items that do come with a campaign are very, very special. They're like, this feels like a specialty campaign, and I would love to see, I mean, if you want to put like t-shirts and merch on there, that's cool, but I don't even feel like it really needs that. I feel like this is really just well presented. This is a specialty item campaign.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was focus on the book, and then Neff is exploring what kind of cool shit comes out of the book, what kind of things that we can make that tie directly to the book. Like you said, t-shirts will be neat, and I will do a big JUDEX face that glows in the dark on a shirt, and we'll have that at a convention somewhere. But really, it's like the mask, the gun, the cape, the coin, those things are inspired by the book. So it's what kind of cool stuff can I do built out of this really great book that we put a lot of effort into, a lot of time and care, a lot of attention. We 2 heads making this book, right? More than 2. We have Fabrizio and we have the editor also.
Taking all the credit. No, take all the credit from them. It's fine. Just kidding. Don't do that. Snarky wants you to surrender your freedoms and your money to JUDEX. Well, not your freedoms. JUDEX is fighting for your freedom. That's the kind of character he is. But yes, your money, because you want to back this book. Yeah,
definitely your money. You don't need the money. It's not necessary. You have your freedom.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's see if we got a few more backers at 111. Not yet. Come on, everybody. Well, I know everyone is just waiting because they're transferring money between their bank accounts because they don't want to back that $1,000 tier and they need to put their funds together. But you're going to refresh it and it's going to be at like 1,500 or 15K because that's exactly what's going to happen. And I have faith that's what this campaign is going to get to, and everybody needs to back this or I'll be very, very mad. I won't. But you should back it. Yes, this looks great. You back now, rice hat. I don't have a rice hat. I have a witch hat. I should get a rice hat and do that bit more. I'll just rip Shane off. And Danny said this looks great. It sure does. Yeah. All right. Wait, I think that about covers it. I think Neff dropped. Oh no, we lost Neff. That's fine. Right.
These things happen. He
pitched everything and then he's like, "Oh, we're done." He rage quit. I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's his internet. I think that's about it, though. Is there anything that I missed? Anything that you want to say? Anything extra?
I mean, other than thanks for having us on. It's been a blast chatting. And we're really happy to have the support that everyone has got given to the campaign so far. This is this has been a blast to put together, and it's an exciting first chapter for a very promising creative collaboration between our two companies. We've got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline, and this is just the beginning. And I think that it's a hell of a first chapter in what we are looking at doing with storytelling and building campaigns and making an experience that everybody can enjoy and do so at a very good value, but on top of that, just good storytelling. And that's always been, my priority, and that's why I teamed up with Neff, is because he was not afraid to give me the red ink, and he said at the beginning of the stream.
Stop losing everybody! No, come back!
No, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Well,
Oh, okay. I was. What? All right.
Dear.
So I don't know where I cut out. So
no,
what
he said
I
Neff wasn't afraid to give you the red ink. It was only a second.
he wasn't afraid to give me the red ink, and I know that he said at the beginning of the stream, but Mavericks Miss went through 9 drafts. I submitted like the final draft, I want to say like a month ago, and it was absolutely a blast to write. And Neff's back, but I remember like the first draft that I submitted to him. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I got it. And Neff hits me up and goes, okay, I read it. Your dialogue's fantastic. Nothing else about this story works.
Oh,
and I was just like, okay. And so he gave me all the notes, and I went right back at it. And then, yeah, like it's been a blast. And as I said, I'm not going to quit until I get the right story out there, and Neff's not going to let him
quit
out.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's like let me put anything out that is anything less than what it could be. And
the best version of it that it could be.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I'm not going to change Oden's story, or in the case of MSS, I'm not going to change his idea. I'm going to demand that he elevate it to the height that it could be, and I'm going to hold him to that because I know he can turn out something incredible, but it takes revision and revision and revision. And man, like, I'm not the fastest writer because I'm constantly hitting my own stuff with the hammer. I'll write it, I'll come back the next day, I'll go back over it. You have to have no like, quote unquote, like, loyalty to your own stuff. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, the sanctity of my work. No, hit it like you mean it. Hit it like it's someone else's work that you're tearing through to make better. Everything is forged, in fire, right? So set your shit on fire and see what burns and what stays, what is made of iron, and becomes steel. Like, I know all sorts of metaphors that I could throw out there, but really what it means is there's a lot of hard work that goes into tempering these scripts by examining them over and over and over again. They say perfect is the enemy of the good, and that's absolutely true, but I'm not going to do something that's not good. I refuse to release anything that's not good.
Right. I do. I completely agree. Nothing will ever be perfect, and you have to find that balance between, you can't have decision paralysis where you edit something so long that you're just afraid that it won't be perfect and you never put your work out. But at the same time, you need to do drafts. Like, the first draft will always suck. Your second draft, your fifth draft will suck. And I've rewritten my book like 10 times, so I know you guys come from the same place. And knowing Michael and having read Neff's work, I know you guys are striving for excellence. No creator is perfect, but the love and care that you put in, it'll show. And I think it's it's really that respect for the medium and the respect for what you're creating, which translates into respecting the buyer and the reader. That's what really sells a book for me, at least. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to be able to tell that the creator really cares, because even if like you can pick apart things like even Tolkien, it's like, why was a Tom Bombadil chapter there? But it's still so amazing and the care shows through. So you guys have the same approach. I completely agree. Neff died again.
Did he actually?
Yes. Well, this is a little awkward, but I like how he comes in, just has the absolute best lines, and he's like, "This is an amazing project," and he just sells it. Neff is such a good salesman, and then his internet just dies again.
It's kind of like doing creative sessions with him. He has like dead zones near where he lives, and so like we'll be talking, and then all of a sudden he'll just like drop out, and I'm like, all right, I'll just wait 5 minutes. I'll get a call back.
It's fine. We got this, Neff. We'll catch you. Is he in the middle of nowhere? That's probably why. It's the government.
Probably, yeah.
Government is the Nazis are watching. Blame Malin and Vaughn. Yeah, I'll just blame them for everything. All right. Well, I think we covered mostly everything. I
think that covers pretty much everything we were looking to do. But yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Well, let me just scroll through this art one more time, because I'm serious when I say I am genuinely really impressed by the art. You guys should put some more of the interiors earlier. Like well, once you have the trailer, that'll really help, because I'm like, this is beautiful, but it's probably just like my artist brain. I'm like, those are good pages, because sometimes you can have an amazing cover, but the pages, like with some books, and I see this all the time in some mainstream books, where the cover is really awesome, but the interiors aren't all there. The storytelling is bad. The storytelling on here looks on point. Interior art is just as good as the cover. So I'm just really impressed by it, especially like the prints and the interior art, just the whole package of it.
I appreciate it, and it's been a blast to put together, and we've got a fantastic team working on everything, and I'm genuinely excited to see how people react to the book. I think it's going to be a really good experience for people, and we've just got a stellar book here, and I don't really have anything else I could add on to it.
I believe this will be stellar, and I can't wait to get mine. Yay! All right, everyone, back JUDEX right now, live on Indiegogo. The link is pinned in the it's in the description, but it's also pinned in the chat. So if you're watching the replay, be sure to hit that link right there, and also go to the link in the description, and you can also follow both Neff and Oden on Twitter. I have everybody's links right there. And if you don't mind, if I may, shill some of my stuff for just a minute before we I let you go here. I also have a little thingy-majig, and this right here is that thingy. This is my Comic Fiendish. I hope everyone who is here with us today has seen this. If you haven't, makes me a little sad, but it's not too late to check it out. Chapter 2 is fulfilling right now. I think I have shown the book. Michael, have you seen this? I did post it in chat, right? The book.
Yeah, you did. Yeah! It looks gorgeous.
Oh, I'm so happy. And hear all the
I was really happy to work with you on that. It is a great story.
You're so happy. And chapter 3 is going to be even more awesome. The next campaign is going to be 2.5, and oh my god, time just flies. That's going to be launching in September. But then chapter 3 is going to be a huge book. So I've already been working on that. I'm like, that's going to look how thick this thing is. I also used 100-pound paper, because I was like, I realized there's actually not that much of a price difference. And you guys know that I like to make everything nice. You know, I think it's worth it. People are paying like $25 for this book, so I'm gonna make it worth it. I've got like this matte lamination, and the paper is super thick. Industry standards is 60 pounds. This is 100 pounds. So this paper is like probably the cover weight for most floppies, for mainstream floppies. So that's the interior paperweight. I'm just showing off now, but I'm really proud of how this turned out, and the colors were beautiful. Great colors, great printer. And I really hope you guys like it. So you guys are getting these books if you backed the Fiendish 2 campaign. Here's the main cover. Here's the Le Beauté cover, Sexy Beauté cover. Here is this was the 24-hour cover. Some people thought the booty cover was a 24-hour. No, this is a 24-hour cover. And it was actually just only 24 hours. So, because I keep my promises. And here's the Boob Dan cover. So, these are already landing. Yes. Le boob Dan, the boobs. Look at that. These are landing in people's mailboxes as we speak. But in the meantime, if you loved Chapter 2, which I am sure you will, you can definitely make sure you're signed up for the email list. Or if you'd missed out on the Fiendish 1 and 2 campaigns and you don't want to miss out on any further projects, sign up right here, fiendishcomic.com. I'm using this as my sign-up page. I just like this website to be the center of operations for this entire project of mine, because I am planning on launching on Indiegogo again, but at the same time, I just like this to. I like to have the website where everything is like centralized, and I want to direct people here because I also have a shop and I have a blog. I'm about to make a blog post announcing I have a cover for 2.5 that's already done. Actually, all the inks for 2.5 I'm done, and I have some other information about 2.5 that I'm going to announce. But yeah, there's I'd like people to check back on this website more because the blog, the shop, everything is like right here if you want to delve more into this series. And here is the merch store. And I just sent out a summer sale email. So if you signed up, it's too late now. But if you already signed up for an email list, I just did an email blast, and everybody who was on the email list gets a discount on the merch for like the rest of the month. So that's why you should sign up for my email list. I give everybody lots of goodies and all kinds of fun stuff. And you can even read a free preview right here if you are curious and you're still on the fence. But I'm sure after reading the preview, you will not be. Look at this. I'm so proud of our work here. It's awesome. Yeah, I love this. I love this book. I love my book. Yay. Ah! So anyways, take a look at the website. And thank you guys. Oh yeah, I want to show the cover. Let's see. And here is this. Oh wait, hold on. Let me switch over. This is the cover for 2.5. So 2.5.
That's awesome.
Isn't it amazing? It's so freaking good. The interiors
I don't know if I saw this one yet.
It's fucking great. The interiors are so. This is drawn by Michael Rushbrook, and chapter 2.5 it's a flashback chapter. So my whole idea is I have Fiendish's 8 main books now, and they're all going to be like these thick chapters because I like doing like. There's like European albums. They're not, it's essentially like a whole tankobon of material or like a whole trade. That's what each chapter is, and that's why it takes me a long time to put them out. But I want to tell the story in these chunks. There's a specific structure that I plan for this entire thing. I have everything written out already, but I have a lot of side stories, some backstories, a lot of character explorations and flashbacks that aren't part of the main story, but I absolutely love this extra material I've written for the world of Fiendish, and that's what the 0.5 chapters are going to be. So 2.5, I already have a title. It'll be announced very soon. The interior inks are already done. Me and my friend Yvonne are co-coloring it, and this is the cover, and I'm going to be coloring the cover, and once the colors on this is done, I think we'll be ready to set up the campaign, and we'll be launching in September. So keep an eye out for that. It was obviously written by me, Michael Rushbrook's art. I'm sure you guys are going to love it. I'm so proud of what we did here. Overlord said, dopeness. Thank you. I'm glad you guys like it. Yeah. So what about the discount on the other 2 stores? Oh, right. I have a bunch of other stores. No, you don't get a discount on there. It's only for Fiendish. The Tampa art book. Yes, I'll also be putting up the Tampa art book. I'm sorry. I'm just so frazzled. I have the chapter 2 permanent cover to do. I have the 2.5 campaign to set up. I've had like other artwork to do, and I have commissions that were backed up because I was away in Tampa for a week. So, but yes, I need to put up the Bedeviled art books because I have like 40 left to sell. I'm not going to do any more reprints, but I think I'll put it online and just sell those 40, and that'll be it. I think that'll be. It was a convention exclusive, but sort of. I feel bad that people who weren't at the convention didn't get it. So you can get it at a markup. I'll have that up on the store tomorrow. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're all good. I didn't really get.
So that's it. That's it. I want to show you guys more artwork, but it will that will have to wait. That will have to wait. All right. Thank you guys for joining me today, and thank you for taking a look at JUDEX. Again, make sure to follow Michael, follow Neff, Rip Neff, and Rip Neff's internet, but follow them anyways, and go back JUDEX. And once again, thank you all for your support. None of what we're doing here will be possible without everyone in chat and all the fans and all you cool people backing our books. I love you guys. You're the best. You're the best. Yeah. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Did you want to shout anything out?
I mean, I don't really think outside of the book right now. That's pretty much what we're doing. And then if you like listening to history streams about the Roman Empire or Napoleonic period, I have a YouTube where I go and rant about that with co-hosts for like an hour usually. Sometimes we get carried away. When Aldous gets drunk and we're watching Napoleon trailers, it gets a little bit frisky.
Oh yeah, usually you do those history streams. Yeah, they are a lot of fun. And again, Michael is a history master. He knows all his stuff. So those are some fun streams. Oh, I almost forgot. Right, I have to shout out my other streams. Tomorrow is a creative block. It's going to be on Phil's channel. So that's my rotating show. We talk about creative stuff. So be sure to go over to Zay Comics, Phil Diaz's channel, and go catch up tomorrow at like 9:30, 10-ish. And Friday, we should actually be doing another episode of the Ali and Rini show because we took a couple of weeks off. But we shall be back. All right. We will, I think that's it. I will leave you at that. And let's see who's streaming. Go head over to Camel Knights, or I think Ethan's streaming as well. So go over to their chats and go tell them it's a raid from here. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Bye.